Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
We're going to have a big, in-depth look on this July 5th, 2012 transmission at government run amok, government bankster-run world government, bankster-run healthcare. Somebody I've wanted to get on for a long time, Joe Farah, a very interesting journalist, trailblazer in constitutional, libertarian, alternative media that rivals the biggest mainline news sites. Joe Farah will be joining us to get his take on the healthcare situation, on this big intel they're going to be releasing in about a week and a half on Obama with Sheriff Arpaio and a lot more. And then Russell Blaylock, MD, a retired top brain surgeon, will be joining us to give his expert view on and take on what Obamacare will do. And we'll also open the phones up. And yes, if you're watching on television, on Prisonplanet.tv, about 98% of people are probably listening on the radio. But if you are watching, before I get a bunch of comments and emails and phone calls, I had a firework accident yesterday. And no, I don't think they should restrict fireworks because I had a fireworks accident, even though it was faulty. Because that's what freedom's all about. I know fireworks are dangerous, so I had my children back, 100 yards. And I bought a bunch of these in Tennessee, driving back from Bilderberg, because they've banned the ones that have sticks in Texas. They've banned selling them here. You can still have them. And I bought a bunch of the old-fashioned rockets. Well, it was little ones, weren't going off, or they would fire but not take off, with the sticks on them. So about 30 seconds after the third or fourth one was either sputtering and not taking off or not going off, I walked over and picked it up, and it fired in my hand. And I don't know how it burned the outside because it was in my hand. It fired. I guess I let go, and I think some of the molten stuff came out the back. That's why they were misfiring. They were just kind of shooting their wad instantly instead of, a controlled propulsion. That's my best guess, because I look at my hand, there was just molten phosphorus goo on it. And let me tell you, it was quite the experience. And it just reminded me of war, because you see the famous footage in Vietnam, a little girl who's been napalmed running, and she's just got skin hanging off of her. This is probably 1/200th of the burns she had. And there she is, just with this look of why? And why is this happening? And I see that in the look of the children all over the Middle East that get killed. Whole villages blown up to kill, quote, one terrorist, as the globalists fund al-Qaeda to take over the world. They're just killing whoever they want to take the land, take the poppies, take whatever goodies, the oil they want, and then doing it in our name. And I just thought, wow. And then I just had that fear every parent has of my children. The car wrecks, knock on wood, I hope they never have. The compound fractures, I hope they never have. The concussions, the pain. But you're not going to escape pain in life. That's the issue. This is some of the worst pain I've ever felt in an extremity. Because you can kind of cut it off and ignore it. Oh, that's just pain in my hand. What's really bad is occasionally when I have a migraine. I know you've experienced them, some of you out there, and it's like explosions in your head. I've never been somebody who likes pain. I'm a masochist. I don't like to give pain. I don't like to feel pain particularly. There's good kinds of pain, like when you're jogging and all of a sudden go in the second wind. But I had this migraine one time that was so bad that it started actually feeling good, like these explosions of pain rolling around on the ground. It's like, at a certain point, I was like, wait a minute, this is kind of cool, actually. It was probably my brain releasing heavy endorphins because of it. But it was very nice to finally get to sleep. And to be up, yeah, that's the little devils. They just put them on screen. That's the little devil right there. I actually got photos and video of the culprits. I don't know if I'm going to put it out, but whatever. We'll just give regulators an excuse to go harass people. Look, when you're dealing with fireworks, I mean, look at the factories that blow up, killing all those kids just to make them. I mean, these are some dangerous things. Yeah, shot down in flames, ladies and gentlemen. we need to shoot the Obama globalist bankster care down in flames. And the only way to beat it is with not a lie, not propaganda, not fake arguments, not dancing around calling it communist or socialist, because that's only one level of it, calling it banker care, scam care, because people won't know what you're talking about. You have to say Obama's banker bailout care, Obama's banking takeover of healthcare care. And then you've got to add that, oh, the bankers, to a man, you don't get in the club of the mega six banks unless you're what? World government promoters. And why do they want a world government? Why are they in charge? Because they want power? Because they're control freaks? What is their religion? What makes them tick? You might want to find out what the rulers of the planet, they're almost in control. They're in control of most areas. They're expanding their control down to your local area with the nanny state, getting you ready for them to have you line up and get frisked and home inspections and drones spying on you. What's their goal? What's their end game? What do they want? What did most other empires do in ancient times? Not because it was a real expression of humankind. It was an expression of aberrant people, as many philosophers have pointed out, scum that rise to the top. They're ugly, vicious, hateful, cancerous people who the women don't want, who nobody wants to hang around with, who are unpopular. And they go and they seek power and they get power. And what is their ultimate expression? What do they always do, from Genghis Khan to Attila the Hun to Adolf Hitler to Lenin and Stalin and Mao and every other one? Every Mayans, Aztecs, Druids, they all demand. What's the most wicked, horrible thing they can demand? What do they always demand? Any of you guys know what they always demand? Sacrifice. That's right. They demand your children. And they first got to get you used to them putting their hands on your children. And, oh, we're going to give them a shot. And, oh, because we care about them, even though all the statistics show it's killing them. By the way, I covered this Tuesday. It felt like a Friday. And all the big Merck documents and that breaking news, will you ask Rob Dew to give me all that from the Nightly News Tuesday? Because I've got Blaylock coming on, who is a retired brain surgeon, to talk about socialist health care, but I also want to bring up that big caveat with them that one of the big pharma companies, in a lawsuit, documents have been released in a lawsuit by their own scientists that wouldn't be part of it, that they fraudulently said these vaccines were protecting people, and it was actually giving them the disease. Really? Really? Like the all over the world, from Pakistan to India to Brazil, the UN, funded by Bill and Melinda Gates, give kids a polio vaccine. And it gives, what, 46, excuse me, I keep saying 46 for some reason, 47,000, guys, type that in, please. 47,500 children got paralyzed or died last year in India from the vaccine. And by the way, that's a footnote in the article. Just a footnote. Just a footnote. By the way, that wasn't some radio flourish where I say 46 and then I go, oh, wait, it's 47. My brain is a computer just like yours is. Sometimes little ghosts in the machines get in there because the guys last week were researching that article. They're like, we can't find it, 46,000. And they go, oh, here it is, 47,000. So I don't know why I say 46. It's like my brain automatically downgrades how bad things are. And people think I'm upgrading how bad things they are. No, my mind downgrades things, and yours does too. In every psychological warfare study that's been published and declassified, they know you downgrade things. British intel document from the 1950s, declassified in the 1980s, republished in a psychology publication. I forget which one. I bought it at Barnes & Noble a decade ago or so. Talked about if we massacre, say, 2,000 in Africa, if we massacre, there it is, Bill Gates and 47,500 cases of paralysis. That's a natural news story at Infowars.com, but you can actually link through to the mainstream media articles in there where they just admit it as a minor footnote. Probably have to go down to find some of the original links. There's Aaron Dykes' article. Go down, he'll have links to it all. The point is, you don't just believe our site. So all of this is taking place, and it's just a footnote. You know, one child gets kidnapped, they grandstand and say, we want to be able to hack all your communications and take over radio and TV because it might save a child. One child dies, it's a tragedy, 10,000 died, it's a statistic. But the British intel said, let's say we kill, I think it was like, I think they said 4,000. And they use an example of a British operation to take over some mineral-rich areas. And it said, you know, let's say we kill thousands of children, like in this case, and whole villages and people. What we do is we know that's going to come out because we don't control all the press, even though it's Africa. And there's not a lot of press that gets out. So what we do is we announce 7 people were killed. And then later, months later, when the number comes out that it was thousands, the brain will automatically calculate to a lower number. Again, I already could tell they were doing that just watching them. I mean, it's like watching hunting, you know, a particular type of bird. You learn little tricks and things it has. I mean, I'm watching the globalist. I'm watching what they do. They watch us. They study us. They are a predator class that see us as suboid animals they feed on. And you guys are so stupid in the global elite. You're smart enough to dominate and take control of society because you're like cancer. I mean, is cancer really superior? No, you end up killing the entire body. But, I mean, if you were so smart, you'd know everything you do comes back on you. And I don't even mean in some spiritual way. When you poop in the pool, a.k.a. Caddyshack, I mean, does that make it nice for you too? Because, see, that's the attitude that the globalists have sold the general public so that we don't stick together. That it's cool not to stick together, that it's cool to fight, that it's cool to be petty, to be vain, to be mindless, to not see the beauty all around you, to not feel fulfilled, all of this. And they're experts at making you feel like crud so that you treat others like crud. And they say to you, you know what? Yeah, this is the New World Order ideology. Go ahead and pee in the pool. In fact, go ahead and poop in it. I mean, I hate to use a gross analogy, but that's what it is. And people are just kind of like, all right. Hey, that was kind of fun. And pretty soon, everybody's doing it. And pretty soon they're saying, hey, the pool's supposed to be black and brown and things floating around in it. And we're like, no, the pool's supposed to be clean. They're like, that's a conspiracy theory. This is good. And of course, that's an extreme sophomoric example, but it will certainly get the point across because you got TSA all over the highways now. You've got them sticking their hands down people's pants, putting people in microwave ovens, pulling colostomy bags off, back to the scatological stuff. Karl Rove, who's listening, is probably excited. And you see all this happening. You see all this unfolding. And they tell you you're the bad one. I mean, take this new federal document that Watson discovered a few days ago that was on Drudge Report the last 2 days, where Homeland Security report lists liberty lovers, that's a quote, as terrorists. WorldNetDaily also had a similar article in the same document. And it goes, now imagine, it says if you're nationalistic or if you say you love liberty or if you are reverent of individual rights, you're probably a terrorist. You're a bad man. And of course, we have all these other documents saying basically the same thing.